Hello everyone, how are you all today? I hope you're all very well. I'm so excited. I don't quite know how, but this is my 100th video. I don't know how that's happened. 100 videos, it's crazy. It kind of, it feels like yesterday since starting all this madness. How long ago was it? It was the middle of March, that first one. It was the St. Patrick's Day. So where are we now? Middle of November. 8 months ago. 8 months. Wow, time's flown. I was still working, of course, at that time. So not too many videos to begin with. And there have been quite a few learning curves. There have been occasions when, say I've been in the garden, I've come back, I've downloaded the footage from the camera into my computer and accidentally deleted everything. I did that twice. I thought I would learn after the first time, I didn't, but I have now. There was another video, it was one of my cooking videos I made, and I don't know, I completely forgot, but I had music playing in the background, and of course, as soon as I uploaded it to YouTube, it was like, copyright issues, so I had to delete it and start again. But generally, I've been absolutely loving it. I think part of it is because, for me, it's a little bit of my creative life back. Not saying from an acting or presenting point of view, but just in terms of thinking about what I'd like to film, how I'd like to do it, not storyboarding as such, but just thinking when I'm in the garden, or what's a nice shot, what's a nice angle, whatever. So I love it from that point of view. But the biggest kick, and I had no idea it would be such a kick, would be that interaction I have with you guys. It's got to the stage where there are a number of you who comment quite regularly, and through little bits and snippets here and there of comments you've left, I've built up a picture of you. I know how many kids you've got, or if you're a grandparent, if you live in the countryside or in the town. I think this came particularly to the forefront when, in the summer, when I was first bringing up all the issues I was having with my great aunt and having to deal with her cares, and I was really struggling. And you guys were amazing with your comments in terms of offering support, relating to me your experiences. And actually what was really lovely was, as other folk were reading each other's comments, you were all kind of helping each other too. It's so lovely. It makes me feel like a proper little hippie, just thinking we've got this little world together, and I just love it. I love sharing. I get so excited about things, especially in the garden. I just want someone else to see it as well, because otherwise, if I'm in the garden being excited and talking to myself, I might be considered a loony. Whereas obviously if I'm filming, it's like, well, she's doing it because she's filming. So I can't quite believe it's so many. I've loved every second of it so far. I see no reason to stop. Actually, I'm going to talk about the op in a minute, but I'm hoping, obviously I won't be in the garden, but I'm hoping to carry on vlogging whilst I'm recovering. I may be a proper little grump bag, pain, whatever, but we'll see. But I will stay in touch. I'd also like to take this opportunity to give a shout out to Matthew. See Matthew, I promised. Matthew is in Australia, I think, and his partner Sonia has just given birth to their little baby boy, Leo. I saw a picture of him. He's gorgeous. He's got a mop of black hair, big bouncing baby, absolutely wonderful. So welcome to the world, Leo. And happy sleepless nights to Matthew and Sonia. Good luck. Oh no, it's so exciting and fantastic. So it's been a crazy couple of weeks. This operation, oh my goodness. As I mentioned a few videos ago, I had been led to believe it was going to be months and months away, and I'd got myself a nice little preparation planned, a months and months and months long preparation, which is mostly to do with physio and diet. But then came the news, no, you're having it in 3.5, 4 weeks, whatever. So the last few weeks have been mad busy trying to make sure everything's okay in the garden, make sure I've harvested everything that needs to be harvested. There's quite a lot of stuff out there still, all the winter brassicas, carrots and parsnips and such like, but they'll be absolutely fine in the ground. I can ignore them. I'll probably be having a few brought home to me by allotment friends, hopefully. But yeah, so getting harvested the things that need harvesting, trying to do some of the more sort of physical jobs now, so that after the surgery, it's not that I worry about things and getting things done, but I'd be wanting to do them and maybe pushing myself too hard to begin with to get back out there to do them. So it's kind of like by doing them, I've removed the temptation for later on, hopefully. So one of the other big things was to get my great aunt sorted, because although I've now got a lot of care in place for her, you know, it's much better than it was. I'm still visiting with her once a week, organising shopping, food, all her medical and personal supplies, that sort of thing, collecting prescriptions and what have you. So actually, in my pre-op prep, I've probably spent more time getting her organised than getting myself organised. But I think I've got all the boxes ticked, and I've just had my last visit with her, which was really odd. It was like a normal visit. I took a load of food down to her, did some cooking while I was there, did a load of cleaning and laundry, did her hair for her, then went to say goodbye. And normally when I say goodbye, I give her a cuddle, loads of kisses on the cheeks, and I say, see you in a couple of days. And then she'll say to me, be good, and I say to her, be good. But this time, of course, I said, I'll see you next year, because it's realistically, it won't be until at least January before I can get down there again. And oh my goodness, her little eyes pricked. Oh, it's unbearable. I mean, I know she's safe, she's being looked after, she's fed, she's warm, she's clean. But it is weird after, it's 3 years, after 3 years to just completely hand the reins over to someone else, and just hope that they are as sort of thorough as I am, if that makes sense. And that's not to look down on any of the carers. It's just that I know that for them it's their job, and at the end of the day they go home and I hope they switch off and they think about their own family. But that's when you can miss things, of course, because I'm always thinking about her. So if I wake up in the middle of the night and I think, oh, I need to organise prescription or whatever it is, I get onto it. So it was very odd to say cheerio, and when I got on the train to come back to London, I actually burst into tears. It was really bizarre. I think partly it was because, you know, I was quite shocked and a bit upset to see her eyes moisten when I said cheerio. It really kind of gave me a pang of, you know, thinking about loneliness and all that for her. But I think part of it, in truth, was that I had a sense of relief. It sounds awful. It sounds awful saying that, but it's the truth. It's just this sense that, like I say, for the first time in months, years even, I've got to let go and say, I have to let someone else look after her because I need to look after me. It's been a long time. You know, I've spent months and months and months where I'm at work looking after someone else's child or their family, on days off looking after her. So yeah, I think I had a few tears of relief just to think that it's like I've got a bit of time off. I think you'll understand. It comes from the right place. It's not out of malice at all, obviously. Anyway, so now she's sorted, I'm turning my attention to what I need to sort out for myself. And I know a lot of folk, actually I keep putting my cup down, why bother? A lot of folk have been asking, because knowing that I live on my own, how will I cope, what will I do, what have you. So first things first, over the last sort of 3 weeks, I've massively stepped up my physio again. So where it takes about an hour to do my whole chunk of physio, I was doing it maybe twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. I've been doing it every day. And I can really feel a difference just by doing it every day. Organising my diet, so just looking at some of the inflammatory foods and starting to get rid of them and weaning myself off cheese, but I really love cheese. Food in general, I have to think in terms that although after the procedure I should be up and on my feet fairly quickly, I won't be up to walking down the 60 stairs from my flat door to the street door. There's no way I'm going to be up to doing 60 stairs at a time, never mind coming back up the 60 stairs with shopping. So just in the last couple of weeks, I've been making loads of soups and stews and curries and things like that to whack in the freezer. So that means there's something really good for me to eat. I don't have to stand around in the kitchen cooking. I can literally just defrost things overnight, put them in a pan on the stove to warm, and then boom, I've got a really good healthy meal. So thinking about food. Also stocking up on loo roll. There is no way I want to run out of loo roll while I'm stuck up here. So I've sort of said to myself, imagine if I can't get out of the flat for 4 weeks. How many loo rolls do I need over 4 weeks? Oh, I'm a very practical girl, but you have to be, don't you? And I think that's the way to think of it. If you also live alone and you're having something done, just try and sort of picture your needs for a few weeks. Imagine that there isn't anybody else to come. You're locked in your little prison for 4 weeks. What do you need? So of course food and loo rolls, of course. But just little things like making sure, you know, all the bed linen's clean. I've got tons of fresh linen so that if my wound oozes and messes the sheets, I've got plenty of clean ones to put on without worrying about doing laundry every day. Really simple practical things like a couple of days ago I did a sort of a walkthrough of my day. So basically, wake up in the morning, can I get out of bed easily? Is there something in the way? If it's in the way, move it. Perhaps I could do with something next to the bed to just help as a bit of leverage. Would that help? Am I going to need extra pillows in the bed? Once I'm up out of bed, the first port of call in the morning is the bathroom. I won't go into details, but just little things like, will I be able to get to the loo with one leg stuck straight out if I'm not bending too much to begin with? Is that accessible? Is there somewhere I can lean my crutches where I can lean them, they won't be in the way, but they're accessible for when I get off the loo? Really simple things like that. Bathing. There's no way I'm going to be able to get in and out of my bathtub for a while because it's very deep. So I'm going to have a stand-up strip wash. Oh, the joys. So again, just thinking about not wanting to be doing laundry every other day. Do I have enough flannels? Because someone suggested baby wipes, but I really, really don't like using disposable things. So what I've done is I've grabbed a couple of really old towels, I've cut them up into smaller squares and hemmed them, and boom, I've got a supply of about 20 little flannels. So that's all my washing sorted, as in my body washing. So yeah, it's all those little things. My sofa is only a 2-seater sofa, so I can't stretch out on it properly. So how can I sit on the sofa or lie on the sofa with my leg up and straight? I'm going to have to move some furniture. I'm going to drag another chair towards it so I can put my leg up. Do I have things accessible to keep me entertained? So is my pile of sewing accessible? Have I got a nice stack of books? I've got all my lovely jigsaws from my allotment neighbour. Really, it seems really silly, but the last thing I want is to find myself at home alone and getting upset because I can't do something that's really, really simple that actually I could organise to make easy to do now. So yeah, a little walkthrough of my day. On more practical matters, getting some spare keys cut so that I've got a couple of local friends to give keys to, so that if I really am in trouble, I can phone them and say, please come, please help me. I should be okay, but it's just putting it there as a little safety net, letting my downstairs neighbour know what's going on so she's aware. She knows she may get a call from me at some point. Yeah, it's just, I'm a bit of a girl guide. I would rather prepare for the worst and know that everything's in place than not prepare for anything and find myself really, really stuck up the creek without a paddle and all that kind of nonsense. I sorted out all my personal paperwork. I mean, I tend to keep pretty much on top of all that stuff anyway, but in terms of everything to do with the house, my bills, insurance, my will, my power of attorney, all of those sorts of things, it's all in a neat little document for my sister, so that if I don't come home from hospital straight away or something really untoward goes on, then she can access this document. She's got all the information she needs at her fingertips, because I know from first hand of sorting out my great aunt what an absolute nightmare it can be trying to sort someone else's paperwork out when they haven't kept their paperwork in order for 50 years. Oh, she's a little pickle. So yeah, that's all kind of worst case scenario stuff. Just also another little practical thing in terms of going to and from the hospital and once I'm home, just thinking about clothing, because I tend to wear leggings loads, but am I going to be able to get leggings on over dressing? Probably not. So just thinking in terms of making sure I've got clothes around that are clean and are stitched and what have you, that are going to slip on easily, not only over the dressing, but if I can't bend my leg very much to begin with, can I hoik them on over my straight leg? So I think I'm pretty much prepared. I've actually got my little list here. I was looking at it earlier and thinking, have I finished sorting everything out, making sure I've got some painkillers at home just in case I need them, making sure I've got a thermometer. Well, I always have a thermometer anyway, but just in terms of if I don't feel right, one of the signs of infection would be an elevated temperature, so I can just keep an eye on my temperature if I'm not feeling happy about it. But I think generally I've ticked my list off. I have got on this list, I've just noticed, I was thinking, what's that? Bag of frozen peas. So in terms of just for the swelling, I might buy a cheap bag of frozen peas that I can use on it and just stick backwards and forwards in the freezer to refreeze it and obviously not eat it afterwards. Well, so yeah, I think I've got everything covered. I still have a few doubts and worries about the whole thing. I think that's perfectly normal. Over the last few weeks, you know, sort of falling asleep at night, I've kind of thought, oh, what if? So I've tended to make a quick note at the side of my bed, and then the next day say, right, what is this thing I was worrying about last night? Can I do something practical about it now to alleviate the worry? And in most instances, I can. So the remaining little are just about the procedure itself and not wanting the anaesthetic, and the fact that I feel like I'm really inconveniencing people because I have to be collected from the hospital. They won't keep me overnight. They don't have a bed for me. So I've had to ask a friend to give me a lift, but she lives miles away. So, oh my goodness, Kate, thank you. She's going to give me a lift home. I mean, it's going to be like a 4-hour drive for her to come all the way here, get me, drop me off at home, and then for her to go home. And I've also now had to ask, I'm still not sure if she can do it because we haven't spoken yet. I've had to ask my sister if she can stay the first night, because apparently they won't let me come home on my own. It's a catch-22. They won't let me come home on my own, but they won't give me a bed at hospital for it. And they've made it clear that they will cancel the operation and that I will never be offered this operation as an admitted patient. They never do it with an admission. They never have a bed for it. You have to be at home, but you have to have an adult with you. Anyway, so there's still a little element of doubt about whether it will happen at all or not. But never mind, I'm preparing for it as if it is. We're all systems go. Like I said, I'm going to keep vlogging once I'm at home and I'm recovering. Hopefully I'll be able to do some sewing and video some of that with you guys. Someone was asking about a tour of my books, so maybe that's something I can do when I'm laid up. We'll see. I've made a few soup videos that are in the can, as it were. It's not soup in the can, it's fresh soup, but I can put those out over December too. So I'm kind of waffling now. I think it's suddenly I'm getting all nervous, and I'm also kind of just excited because of the 100 videos, which I can't get over. So before I waffle myself into a hole, I'll have my last slurp of tea and say it's been really nice to catch up with you all today. Cheerio for now. Please all stay out of mischief whilst the next few days go on and I'm maybe not in touch so much and can't see what you're all up to. But whatever you're getting up to, have fun with it. Be a kid in your heart while you're doing it. And all being well, I'll catch up with you after surgery. Take care.